Yo, what is up guys? It's your boy Presley from Live a Little, and today we are going to pick up where we left off last week and paint the picture for the playoffs in 2021. But first, if you're new here, I'm Presley, owner of Live a Little, and most of the stuff I upload right now is baseball related, especially with the season coming as fast as it is. And it'd be greatly appreciated if you hit the subscribe button if you want any important information from me going forward. I do plan on having more podcast release here very soon. Hopefully I can get a guest quickly because, nobody really wants to just see me talk for an hour and a half to myself. It gets really weird, I promise. If you've not already seen last week's video, I went over my predictions for all the division winners, and it wasn't executed very well, if I'm being honest with you, but it's still worth a watch. The content in it is great, and it gets you caught up to where we are today. Alright, so we're just going to jump straight into it. We're going to start off with the NL. Obviously we have all of our teams. Our first place team in the NL will be the LA Dodgers, no surprise. I think I said that in the video. Our second place team in the NL will be the New York Mets. Our third place team in the NL will be the St. Louis Cardinals. And we'll have our two wildcard spots, which will be the Padres and the Braves. So we got to start off with round one, which is the wild card, and I'm going to go ahead and take the Braves. Originally, I thought I was going to go with the Padres. In fact, I had the Padres as a World Series pick, but, looking into it a lot more, I think the Braves are the better team. Ronald Acuna Jr. and that offense is just way too potent. The pitching could use a little work, but that offense is just too potent. It's more potent than the Padres' potent off. Yeah, it's two crazy offenses, but I am going to take the Braves in that game. All right, and the Braves go on to play the Dodgers, obviously, after they win the wild card game. And I'm not even going to really analyze this much because y'all all know I'm going to pick the Braves. I mean, okay, yeah, I'm joking. I'm picking the Dodgers. The Dodgers are the best team in baseball with all the re-signing and the signing they did of Trevor Bauer, and the team's crazy. Even though they lost Jock Peterson and Kike Hernandez, is that really going to faze them enough to not be the best team in baseball? And if they're not the favorite to win the World Series, I would be surprised, honestly. For the 2 and 3 seeds, we have the Mets and the Cardinals, and I'm actually going to take the Mets. I think the Mets, if the Dodgers weren't a thing, the Mets would be the best team in baseball throughout the season, and they're going to move on to play the Dodgers, and I'll tell you what I think there. The Cardinals are close. The Cardinals got Nolan Arenado. They have an older veteran pitching staff with Jack Flaherty being the odd one out, being young. They got team leaders like Yadier Molina and Paul Goldschmidt on that team, and they're, they're good, but I don't think they stand a chance against the Mets. I just think the Mets are too good. The next series is really hard to pick, the Dodgers and the Mets. Speaking of which, we are going to jump straight into that one, and I'm going to pick the Mets. I really think the Mets will upset the Dodgers. I think guys like Clayton Kershaw will choke, even though they didn't in 2020, but it was a weird season anyways. We didn't see playoff Kershaw. It was shortened, that thing that everybody knows about, we're not going to talk about. So there you have it for the NL. That lands the Mets in the World Series. Now on to the other side, the AL, where you have the number 1 ranked Yankees, the number 2 ranked Chicago White Sox, the number 3 ranked Angels, and the 2 wildcard teams, which are the Blue Jays and the Twins. I kind of hinted that I was going to leave Houston out of the playoffs this year because I think they lost too much, even with Justin Verlander coming back, and I really don't think, I just don't see it happening. All right, same thing. We'll start with the wild card teams, and it'll be the Blue Jays versus the Twins, and I'm taking the Blue Jays. That young, really, really electric offense, and a younger pitching staff with Hinge and Ryu, and hopefully Nate Pearson has a breakout year, and I really think that team's going to be good. I think that they aren't going to be far from winning that division if the Yankees weren't just better. The Yankees are so stacked, as I went over in the last video, that 1 through 9 is scary. All right, they're going to move on to play the Yankees, and I'm going to take the Yankees. As I just said, that 1 through 9 is just so scary. No matter how good the Blue Jays could play in that series. I don't think that young offense is better than the more mature, if healthy, offense. If that offense isn't healthy, if that Yankees team is not healthy, I don't even know if they can make the playoffs. But we are going to assume on paper they are healthy and ready to play come the ALDS. For the bottom half, I have the White Sox versus the Angels, and I'm going to pick the White Sox. The White Sox made a lot of moves this offseason, buffing up the pitching staff with Lance Lynn and Liam Hendricks. Yeah, that guy, the best reliever in baseball. I think both of them make a huge mark on the team, let alone Yohan Moncada, Eloy Jimenez, Luis Robert. It's a good team, and even though the Angels have Mike Trout, limited playoff size, he could shock the world. Their pitching staff just isn't good enough. I think their pitching staff is good enough to win a division, a really weak division, albeit, but I think I'm pretty confident that the White Sox are going to move on in that. Now you have the Yankees versus the White Sox, and for the first time since 2005, I have the White Sox winning the series and going to the World Series. I think that White Sox team is just the best team in the AL. Maybe not during the regular season, but I think they'll really break out. They're a little younger than the Yankees, and on paper, the Yankees are the better team, but the pitching staff for the White Sox, I think, overpowers the Yankees' offense. The Yankees just rely a lot on home runs, and with guys like Lance Lynn and Liam Hendricks, as I just mentioned, and even Dallas Keuchel, who prevent the home run. I think they beat the Yankees. I can't see the Yankees winning that series. If it comes down to it in a 7-game series, yeah, I'm taking the White Sox. All right, so you have the White Sox versus the Mets, and obviously this is way too early. Don't pretend like I'm a fortune teller or I'm a time traveler. I can't actually tell you who's going to win the World Series, but if I had to pick one, I'm picking the Mets. I think the Mets are going to win the World Series this year. Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso, Wilson Ramos, Jeff McNeil, Michael Conforto. It's a good team. It's a really good team that they'll be good for a couple of years to come. I think upsetting the Dodgers, as I have them doing, isn't unrealistic at all. I think they're a really good team, and people have just been like, "Oh, you didn't sign George Springer? Trash. Oh, you didn't sign Trevor Bauer? Trash." Listen, that team's good. They picked up Francisco Lindor and Carlos Carrasco at that. That was a really good trade. Even if you had to give up some minor league pieces, that was a really good trade. And I think the Mets are the better team. I think the Mets are honestly, you can only have one best team, and I've said it 3 times now. The Dodgers and the Yankees are the best team on paper, but that Mets team is going to come together this year, and I think they'll win a World Series, coming out of the toughest division in baseball. I really do. Sorry, White Sox fans, to break your heart, but I think the Mets are the better team, and I think even you, as hard as it would be, could probably admit that DeGrom deserves a ring anyways. So does Lindor, honestly. So there you have it. The Mets are winning the World Series in 2021, confirmed by me. Go put in $1 million bet on them right now. You're going to make bank. All right, it's been your boy Presley. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really encourage you to hit the subscribe button for more baseball content. Pitchers and catchers have already reported this week, and most position players are getting there already too. We're ready to see baseball start. 2021 has officially begun. If you've not already, go check out the podcast link in the description for my podcast that have been uploaded to YouTube or Spotify. This is YouTube, my bad. Other than that, it's been your boy Presley. Peace.
Those gorgeous blue eyes, they look even better when we're sky high. If we can leave this place, wouldn't you love to run